being a joyrider, but this, as we know, the whole week I've been trying that, but I'll take what is available. Mr. Speaker, the issue is that the interns have been posted. And that's what we are told. But what we know, not all interns have reported. And then that brings to me the issue that I would like a clarification from the minister. When we use the word intern, who are we talking about? There are various cadres within the ministry, and they do different internship. Now, there are also generally in the country the term internship which is used in industry. Do we have a clear clarification of who these are? And why I ask that question, Mr. Speaker, is this. We have some interns who are now employed. Now we have interns who are now going to get stipends. If we understand it, the difference between somebody who is earning a salary and somebody who is given a stipend is that the person who is being given a stipend is not employed, but is being given some support. By definition, an intern is actually a doctor who is starting work. He or she has graduated, has taken the Hippocratic oath, has actually been given an interim license, and when they are on duty in hostels where they are, the structure in those hostels will normally be, amongst the doctors, there's a first on call, who is always the intern, there's a second on call, and there's a third on call. And at all these levels, people call on the next level if they reach their limit of ability. And many, many times, in many situations, interns will actually see patients right through to discharge and they go home. So when we are now talking of stipend, are we saying these people are not employed? So you will then have two, one on a full salary of what we are talking of 200,000 and one on the salary of 90,000, working side by side, doing the same thing. How will that work? And is that good for peace in the industry?
Because of your tremendous interest on the matter, can you now ask the question? You've been making a speech.
Mr. Speaker, all these are questions. When we talk of insurance, the minister said the insurance has been paid at national level. What that means is there are some doctors at county level that do not have an insurance. And that actually is the status. Why is it not that we use the coordination mechanisms within the government provided in the Constitution so that health workers, not just doctors, have similar conditions of work across, because that is provided for, and that is one of the reasons that is giving us problems. Mr. Speaker, the next one is the postgraduate doctor. And why I'm asking this question, this is a problem that has been there, it is in the strike now. I've said in our committee, and we have put this, and I want to ask the minister if this can help this country. Why is it that when they come for postgraduate, they are working in hostels that are government hostels, which are funded by government, and the work they are doing is full work? Why can't we, while funding those hostels, create these positions which are paid for at that hostels so that the counties don't have to pay them when they are actually working in Kenyatta? The counties can then use that money to employ doctors during that period they are away. Because that is giving us a problem.
Last one.
The issue of, well, Mr. Speaker, I'll stop, but it means that I may still come on with my request of yesterday, because something I've not.
A whole 5 minutes to ask a question.
Now, recognition as members of the union goes back. Are we taking them as employees? Because if they are employees, then I think by rights they will have. So are they employees or are they not? I must add, Mr. Speaker, all over the world, medical interns are employees and they actually earn salaries. Even here in Kenya, there are private hospitals that are actually employing interns, paying them. So the question is important. Mr. Speaker, I have the interest of this country at heart, and therefore I know that is the last, but I want to make a suggestion which I think can help this country. This is not a question, it's a comment, and the minister can make a comment on it. The problem we are having is that we are saying that all interns can only be employed or must only be employed by the government, by the ministry. And we are limiting it. Why don't we put, and the minister will understand this, or her technical people, a regulation that all levels at which interns can work, and those are level 4 and 5, whether they are private or they are public, they create levels of position for interns by law. Because even when you start a hostel, you have a certain number of staff you should have. If we do that, Mr. Speaker, we'll open a large space for interns and we shall not have this problem, and they do not have to be paid by the government. Today, Aga Khan as interns, they are paying. Karen as interns, they are paying. Tenwek as interns, they are paying. Kijabe as interns, they are paying. So we have to look at it broadly so that we actually can get rid of this problem that looks perennial of interns. Mr. Speaker, I may later on seek how to discuss this more, but for now, I'll leave it there.
Honorable members, I gave Honorable Nyikal that latitude because you know he had attempted to bring a motion of adjournment on this matter, and I assured him that I'll give him the latitude that I've extended to him. The rest of the joyriders, one question each. Mishimbogo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to put a question to our CS, and the question is about what is the gross salary and the net salary for the intern? Is it true that it was reduced by 91%? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We'll take more. Waziri, Junaid Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I would like to ask a supplementary question. First, I don't understand which law this whole government nation is anchored on. This concept of whole government approach, I don't know what it is. I know Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Health, that's beside the point. But the interns' salaries or stipend, whatever you want to call it, in the CBA was meant to be 206,000. That's what they are claiming. The ministry initially proposed 47,000, but later went to 70,000. I would like to know from the ministry, how did you come up with that figure of 70,000? What did you consider in coming up with those figures? Is it the cost of living? Is it the availability of funds? How did you come up that 70,000 is enough for interns? I would like to know.
Thank you. Yes, I'll give to Mama Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Swali moja tu.
Namuuliza waziri, limsikia akisema kuwa amewapa madaktari mambo yao kutatuliwa mpaka Julai. Nataka nimuulize, kuna yule mama ambaye ni mjamzito na mtoto amefika wakati wake wa kuzaliwa, anahitaji daktari kumsaidia. Huyu mtoto yeye amempangia kitu gani na kwa nini ameondoa linda mama ambayo yasaidia kina mama? Asante.
Mwenje. Minister, record all those. I'll give you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, during this time where the doctors and the interns are on strike, I'd like the Cabinet Secretary to tell Kenyans directly, especially women who are expectant, where can they obtain services? This is an issue, Honorable Speaker. All members of Parliament are being contacted by their constituents, and because of the shortage of doctors, what options do Kenyans have during this difficult time? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. John Badi. Mutauliza tu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Cabinet Secretary for a detailed answer or response to this question. But I just want to ask one straight question. The CS has indicated clearly that she has been asked by the Treasury to rationalize the budget of the ministry. What is the CS doing in that exercise of rationalization of the budget? Because a lot of money is spent on services which ordinarily should be devolved. Yet, important assignments for the national government, like this case of intern doctors, is given lip service. So what are you doing? Can you state to this House and to the people of Kenya specifically what you are doing in terms of rationalizing the budget of the ministry? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The member next to Mishi, you are very far, I can't. That is
Ken Chonga.
Ben Chonga.
Yes.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to know from Madam Waziri. She said that the CBA of 2017 expired and they're working on the current CBA. But what measure is the ministry taking to avert any more strikes? Because it is like before the doctors are given whatever they have agreed in the CBA, a strike might follow. And so many people are suffering, people are dying. There is total chaos in the history of the health industry. What measures is the ministry taking to ensure that we no longer undergo a similar situation again? Thank you.
TJ Kajwang. After that, Waziri, you can answer.
Thank you, Mr.
We'll
Speaker.
do another round.
Mr. Speaker, you know, you and I, we have the misfortune of, we can only be patients, not like my brother here who can be a doctor. We can only be patients. But I pray that you and I, we do not go to hospital around this time when things are still not very stable. Mr. Speaker, my question is two. One, Madam Minister, are you lying to this House?
That is unparliamentary language. Withdraw.
Are you misleading this House? I withdraw. Are you misleading this House? Because the reason you came to this House, according to the question that was asked, was majorly to show us the level of implementation of the CBA. You have explained that you have implemented the CBA. In fact, you said that you have overpaid according to the CBA. But the truth, or what we have, the information we have from our constituents, is different.
She said a few doctors have been overpaid.
Yes, a few
It was
doctors
not a general term.
have been overpaid.
Yes.
So the question about the implementation of the CBA, because if then the CBA is fully implemented, why would be doctors out there be continuing to be on strike, claiming that their monies have been withheld or have not been paid or have been underpaid by the ministry? So, Madam Minister, are you misleading the House? Now, that is question one. Number two.
Only one.
No,
Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, if you will just allow me, it's a very straightforward question. Very straightforward. Why are you not working on the return to work formula? Why are you insisting that you do not want to relate with the people that you have employed and discuss a return to work formula, that these people must go back to work first before they discuss with you a return